We've got a couple really exciting updates this week from HighLevel, including one that our clients have been waiting for years. You guys are not going to want to miss this week's weekly breakdown coming up right now. What's up, guys? The first update this week is coming out of the voice AI feature. Now, we haven't done a ton of experimentation with this. As I've mentioned in the past, our clients and what we work on, like our clients are a little bit pickier than I feel like maybe the average person using HighLevel is, or the average loan officer using HighLevel is. And so we typically are going to wait for these features to develop a little bit more before we dive in. Starting to see enough traction with this that it's on our agenda to start exploring this more and more. So you'll hear me talking about this a little bit more, and that's because our focus is kind of increasing on it as well. Voice AI, in case you didn't know, voice AI is like having an AI agent that talks on the phone for you. So 100% AI driven. LO Portal has demoed this before publicly. It's a pretty cool feature. But again, it's way more like razzle dazzle than anything right now. It's not exactly like ready for prime time. However, again, more features, more investment into voice AI means we're going to pay more attention. We're going to start dabbling with it a little bit more, and we will let you know what we see. So this update is now the ability to use some of the data from that voice AI conversation in your workflows. So this includes being able to, let's go down here, enable the voice AI agents, but then from there, you're able to access like different AI data within the workflow, specifically call duration, a summary, transcript, and obviously soon after that is going to be the ability to pull like different form fields, like the answers to different form questions that are pulled throughout voice AI. So really, really cool, a lot of potential. But again, in the mortgage industry, it's just a little bit like we're a little bit more sensitive to turning customers off, right? And for good reason. And so I would definitely be cautious with voice AI, but we'll be looking into it more. We'll let you know what we find. All right, speaking of phone features, I've got a couple more phone features for you guys. Number one, transcription for IVR calls. So if you guys are using the lead connector phone system, you guys have access to a feature called IVR. IVR stands for inbound voice routing. What is this? This is when somebody calls, when you call a phone number and there's a switchboard that says press 1 for sales, press 2 for processing, press 3 for whatever it is, right? You have the ability to set that up natively inside of HighLevel. Guys, if you're using a phone system outside of HighLevel, you definitely shouldn't be. This is one of the most powerful features, and honestly, one of the most underutilized as well. So now you have the ability to get transcriptions for IVR calls. So being able to hear start to finish, that call comes in, being able to see the transcription of that entire call, and then being able to trigger different workflows off of what's inside that transcription, obviously, is kind of the next step to this. So really cool feature. If you're not using the IVR, definitely check it out. If you are using IVR, let us know. Let us know how you use it. I would love to sample it. I'd love to give your phone number a call and test it out. We're always down to explore different use cases and different applications of these different features. So let us know, and we would love to check out your use case. All right, next up, we've got one more feature related to calling, and that is the ability to disable the call recording message. So a couple weeks ago, I talked about how this might be like in jeopardy. The ability to do this might be in jeopardy because they were disabling the ability to put a space bar, and then you were able to put a period. And I was like, I don't know what their intention is with this, right? Well, now we know it wasn't the bad, it wasn't a more restrictive intention. It was a less restrictive intention. The intention was to be able to give us a checkbox that we can now check if we want to play a call recording message and uncheck it if we don't want a call recording message. So this makes it really straightforward. No more space bars, no more periods in this section right here. Just make sure that this box right here is unchecked if you do not want a call recording message to play while you are recording calls. All right, next up, an update from the social planner. You now have the ability to post collaboration posts on Instagram. If I butchered that, if that's not what it's called, I apologize. I'm not huge on on social, not huge on Instagram especially. However, this is cool for those of you guys that are using Instagram. Apparently you can tag somebody like in a collaborator post and it'll show up in their feed and in their reels as well. And so I assume they have to approve it. I don't know exactly how that works, but you now have the ability to do that here. You just come in here and you have to type this yourself. So I have Fraser's handle in here. It doesn't populate like as you're typing. You're not going to be able to search anybody through this. So you need to go to Instagram, find the actual handle of the person that you want to tag with this, and then put it in, or username, right? And then put it in here, and then that will create one of these little tags here, and now you are posting as a collaborator. So this is live inside your social planner. Nothing to enable here in Labs. Check it out. All right, next up, a massive update that our clients have been waiting years for, and that is auto save inside of sites and funnels. Guys, I cannot tell you how many horror stories I've been a part of, but I've also witnessed inside our walls and outside our walls of people working on a site, working on a funnel, getting so far through it and then forgetting to save and wiping out all of that progress, or maybe their computer crashes or something like that. It was like a known thing. You got to make sure that you're periodically saving your work inside of the HighLevel site builder. Now that is no longer the case. If you come in here, by the way, this is just a template that's straight out of the template library, so don't judge me on this. But if I come in here and say mortgage is a great look on you, boom, look, saving up here in the upper left hand, boom, auto saved. Okay, now remember, you still got to publish it. This isn't going to publish your site automatically. This is a good thing, right? This makes it so that you can do work on your site without necessarily having to do it all in one fell swoop. If you want to work on it, chip away at it, come back tomorrow, work on it a little bit more, and then publish it, that's really the use case for this. So you still do have to essentially like click this button and approve the final like push, but you're not going to be at risk of losing all your progress if you do a bunch of work in here, because auto save is now on by default. All right, speaking of sites and funnels, did you know that there's a countdown timer feature inside of HighLevel? I've known this for a while. We haven't used it. One of the reasons that we haven't used it is because it didn't tie into sites and funnels really well. So sites and funnels had their own element for a countdown timer, but if you created a countdown timer inside of the countdown timer section, you couldn't pull that without copying the code and embedding it. Just like weird stuff like that, disconnects that just tell me like, hey, I'm not, it's not ready for me to be using this. I'm not like the earliest of early adopters when it comes to this kind of stuff. So that being said, if you didn't know, it's under marketing, which seems like a weird spot for it now that it's like integrated so well with sites and funnels. It almost seems like it should be in there. We'll see if that sticks. But if you come in here, you have the ability to create a timer. You can make this reoccurring. So let's say you run a weekly webinar or a bi-weekly webinar, right? You can set this timer. You can set this up so that you have a like start and like a date of your webinar. And then you say, hey, I want to rerun this I want to run this 5 or 6 times, whatever it is, right? So you define your start date, then you define the countdown duration. Okay, so it'll work back from there. Okay, so this is counting down. So it's kind of weird, honestly. This wait time, I'm assuming this is going to make it a little bit easier, make more sense. You don't pick your you don't pick your end date and then set a reoccurring, like almost like a calendar event is kind of how I would expect it to work. You pick when you want your timer to start, and then your duration, counting down 2 days from Wednesday, April 30th, and auto refreshing. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Like I'd have to spend a little bit more time with this to know exactly how that plays out. But if you come in here, you have a bunch of different style options, and then these embed just directly into the site and funnel builder. So I'll show you what that looks like. If I come in here, let's say I want that template, and then I can change my styling, I can change my colors, I can change my like fonts, like all that stuff, right? But let's say I didn't want to, and I just wanted to come in here, and boom, this doesn't auto save yet, by the way. And then now I can come over here grab a countdown timer, boom, test, and I can just drag it right in there. That brings it in here. We're good to go. This is the countdown timer functionality. Again, it may take some finessing, the way that it's not super intuitive, but I know it works the way it's intended to work. You just got to spend some time with it to figure out exactly how that countdown and like repeating countdown works. So anyways, check it out. Let us know what you think, and let us know if you have any questions on that. All right, guys, that is it for this week's weekly breakdown. A couple of really cool, really powerful updates. Voice AI, guys, I'm really curious to know if anybody's working with that yet. I know there's some early adopters out there that are playing with this, so I'd love to hear about it. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's weekly breakdown. Stay tuned for next week's, but until then, we'll see you at the top.